Hi, hello. My name is Emilia Bachelier, and I'm the artist behind Emilia Bachelier Art, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to be chatting with you and talking about these paintings that I started working on for my 100 Days of Painting Live challenge on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know, if you've been following along, that I'm on day 31 now, or by the time this is posted, it might be day 32. I'm not sure, but basically I'm almost a third of the way there, and it's been an exciting journey that I embarked on because at first I was just so embarrassed of hearing my own voice and so shy, but I'm really not a shy person, so it's definitely loosened me up to be on camera as well as to film these voiceovers, which hopefully I can make more of these. But I purposely included two paintings in this video because usually I've been posting here on this channel kind of a time-lapse style video with just one painting, so I thought it'd be interesting to include two paintings instead. And so that's why it shows once I start, it's not from the very beginning. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. But yeah, this is a piece that is 24 by 36 inches, and I chose to paint it vertically. I've been kind of personally challenging myself to paint with the color red more often because I rarely reach for it. So this piece, as you can see, the top half has most of the red, but the bottom half, I think some of it got covered. But yeah, what can I say about this painting? It was different for me because I just tried not to think too much about the process. I paint intuitively and in layers, so each layer dictates the next. And that's the fun part of it too, is that I start out without a plan and it just happens along the way. I start to find a composition, I find a balance with the colors. In this case, I have used a lot of warm colors like red and orange and pink, and I'm using a teal, a light blue, some purple to kind of balance them out. Because, let me tell you, if it were up to me, I would probably paint with the same 4 or 5 colors all the time. And that's because I guess you could say they're my favorite colors. But if I don't keep the palette limited, then I'll use every single color. And I just love colors. So if I'm looking at a painting of mine and I see that it's missing a color, I'll add it. So I have to, I feel like, challenge myself to go with a more limited palette so that the painting is a little bit more interesting and so that I don't make mud. But those colors would be a cadmium orange, but I'm trying right now not to buy any more cadmiums or anything that could potentially cause cancer or has harmful chemicals. I did find a permanent orange that is almost identical to that same color, so that's what I'm using now, permanent orange. And I like a viridian green or a teal or a phthalo green, anything that is like this turquoisey color, but a little bit more green than blue. And then I like a king's blue, which is pretty much like a darker periwinkle. And then a lime green, and let's see, what else? Maybe a little bit of yellow and white, maybe some purple. I got carried away listing I don't know how many colors, and now I've started the next painting, which interestingly enough I included from the very beginning to the very end of this piece, just because I felt like I completed it pretty quickly. So yeah, this painting is a diptych, and actually it was inspired by a digital painting that I created when trying to kill time in the car. So yeah, I kind of used it as my source for inspiration. Didn't really go in with the intention of copying it directly, but I did want to include all of the colors, and I wanted it to have the same overall feel as the digital painting. But the only problem with doing that is that when I get to the pinks and the reds, because the screen is backlit, it's on a tablet, the pinks and the reds and the oranges, okay, every color, they just look a little bit fluorescent. They look brighter than in real life, like what it would look like with paint on canvas. So I did end up using a fluorescent pink. Excuse me, sorry about that. I did end up using, okay, it'll finish. There, it's done. I ended up using a fluorescent pink paint to mix in with the red, the orange, and the magenta, just to give it a little bit more of a bright hue, I guess. So yeah, that's what I did. And like I'm showing you here with the tablet, it doesn't look exactly like it, but I feel like you get the point by looking at both of them and comparing it. So I like to paint the edges as I go, so you'll see me separate them and turn them around on their sides and all that. But my favorite thing to do to add variety is to switch up the brushes so that I can have thicker brush strokes and everything in between up to something fine. And one of the final steps that I go through is what I call my embellishment stage. And this is when I take some Posca pens, some Stabilo Woodies. Recently I just added some Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 Aquarelle wax pastels to that. What else? I also have some Sennelier 3D liners, and I like to use these to kind of add some finishing touches to the painting. So actually, I'm not there yet, but once I'm finished painting with acrylic paint and a brush, I will go in with those markers, and then I'll go in with the wax pastels, and then I'll go in with the woodies. And I need to silence my phone. Excuse me. So I go in that order for a reason, because I've noticed that if I try to go over the marks I make with the woodies with the wax pastels, it doesn't glide on the canvas or the paper as easily. So that's why I go in that order. But it also adds variety because the Posca pens, I have them in different tip sizes, so I can add some teeny tiny dots or some fine lines, as well as I can do that with the 3D liners. I can literally use them to do some line work. So yeah, I really like how this piece turned out actually. The title for it is Backyard Bash, and this is mostly because that's what my family have been doing during this quarantine period. Yeah, we've been hanging out in the backyard and playing board games, and so this just gave me the feel of one of our backyard bashes in summertime. And this painting is actually another challenge for myself, like I've been saying, to use more reds and pinks, because usually I will stay away from those colors. I'll use them kind of to accent my cool colors, because those are just my favorite colors. The teals, the blues, the greens, even yellow goes great with those colors. And I feel like the orange, the pink, the red, those are the colors I reach for to complement the cool colors. And it's funny, I will not paint my nails any kind of warm shade. It has to be a cool shade. I don't know why. It's just, I prefer the blues, the greens, the purples, anything cool. I feel like goes with my skin tone. It goes with my personality better. Yeah, so this is probably a painting that kind of goes with what I said earlier as well, that I try to use every color, or that I tend to use every color. But you can tell that it's primarily the reds and the pinks. It's the warm colors, and I only used the cool colors to bring out the warm colors. So really they're just like complementing and accenting. So yeah. And actually, I am not left-handed, I'm right-handed. This video is flipped over. And I swear, one day I will learn. I'll spend like a whole week or month trying to improve my editing skills. But for now, I feel like I'm still in that beginning period of posting videos that I could get away with it a little bit. I feel like it's more important for me to spend my time wisely and be more consistent. So I'd rather post more videos and show my process, talk about my process, all those things, than spend more time trying to figure out how to do all these fun things with editing. But you know, I'm pretty ambitious. I think that I'll get bored with this editing style of just cutting the clips shorter and speeding it up and adding some music or a voiceover. I know I will eventually graduate from that step and go on to something a little bit more advanced. Or hopefully I could just hire an expert. Sometime soon that will happen. So you can see I'm going in with the Posca pens now and showing my face. Hello. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you had fun watching me paint. Yeah, that's about it. Both of these paintings are on my website by the time you see this. And my website is www.emiliabachelierart.com. So you can go check them out. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Bye!